Introducing lists, seeing what happens with lists in Python. In this video, I just want to take some random program that creates lists and play computer. So first I'm going to play computer by keeping track of what's happening over here. And then we're going to run it with the debugger and see what it looks like in the debugger. I'm going to leave this stuff here from the previous video and start at the top. Okay, so when I start off, this items is going to be a list, and I'm going to draw the picture just like it was in the previous video. So I have a list of variables here. I have something called items that's going to be pointing over to some spot over in memory. And we're going to need to have somewhere to keep track of what's printed on the screen. I'll put that here because we're going to have some print statements. Alright, first thing is I'm going to print items bracket 0. Just to make that easy to keep track of, I'm going to put down here our items. Something that you may have noticed, if you haven't seen this before, our list has, that's index 5 there, our list has strings. Red, green, and blue, and purple are strings. It also has two integers, 0 and 7, and it has a floating point number, and that is perfectly okay in Python with our lists. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Here I have our indexes on the bottom. Now we're going to print items bracket 0, which is this one here. We should see on the screen red. Then we have len is the length. So if we give it a list there as the parameter, as the argument, then it should tell us how many are there. And here there are 7. So it went up to 6 and it started at 0, so there are 7 of those. Okay, and then we're going to delete item 0. And I'm going to draw that like this and shift over the indexes here rather than type everything again. I'll do this and adjust those. And of course we don't have an item 6 anymore. Okay, and now we delete items 0 again, and the items that we're looking at is not the original one. This is gone. That's not there anymore. So when we say items bracket 0, it's this one, because we only ever do one thing at a time. And when I'm doing this statement right here, that operation is already done. So I'm going to delete green now. And that won't be the index 0 item anymore. So the index 0 item is now going to be blue. And I'll adjust these to make this index stuff line up. And now we only have 5 items in our list, index 0 up to 4. That's where we are. Okay, and we're going to print the length, which is 5. Alright, next thing is I'm going to add red and append adds on to the list of items. So now there will be red there, and now I have 6 things in my list again. Let's move this down here. Okay, something equals items, and we covered in the last video that when we assign a new list, what we're really doing is we're having a new name that points to the same spot in memory, this stuff. So when we say something equals items, items is a list, those are really going to be the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to print, is 0 in something, yes or no? What is that going to print? So for each of these lines, you should be pausing it for a second, telling yourself what you think is going to happen next, and then see if I agree with you. Here, I think this is going to say true. All right, and then we'd be on to here. We're going to remove 3.14, the first occurrence of 3.14. If it happened more than once, I believe that only deletes the first one. So that would be like that. And we're back to having 5 items in our list. All right, what we'll print for the length now? I think 5. Now what we'll print for this slice. The rule for slice is you go to this index, and it's like range where you stop 1 before this. Index 1 up to, but not including index 3. So I think that's going to print purple and 0, and maybe it's going to print square brackets or maybe not. Okay, and then we have the index function. So index function is going to tell us what index is this at. So what index is the string 7 at in our list? And I think it is not present. We have the integer 7, but not the string 7. So what do you think the index should return if this is not there? It's either going to be an error or something. So we'll just put that as what's going to happen. We don't know. We'll see. Okay, now I want to see what this looks like in the debugger. So we're going to turn on the debugger. And run the code. All right, we haven't done anything yet. We're going to step over that line. So now we have our items list. I think I'm going to print red, so let's see if that happens over here. I'm going to step over the print. There's my red. The number of items, 7. Now I'm going to delete item 0, and that red disappeared. Now I'm going to delete item 0 again. The green disappeared, and now the length of my list should be 5. Adding red onto the end of the list. There it is. Something equals items, and let's see what this looks like in the debugger. So it's not showing the picture like this. So our picture is actually more accurate than what's in the debugger right here. 0 in something. It is. We see a true there. We're going to remove 3.14, and we should see it removed from both of these. And there it is. It's removed from both of those. The length of items is now 5. There is our slice, and we did have the square brackets in there on the print. I wasn't sure. And the last thing is, what is it going to give us for the index for something that is not present? and it gave us a value error. So that's an error that it gave us. If we had here this, then it would have told us the index where 7 is, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I didn't have that change in there, so it went ahead and gave us the value error. Okay, so that was it for this video. Just practice with playing computer, and actually our play computer picture is more accurate than what the debugger shows.